on the good. Focus on the good. If you focus on the bad, focus on the bad. That's what you're going to attract. That's just the universe says, oh, well, this is all you think about. Let's give it to you. So be careful. Just be careful what you're thinking and try to throw out the negative stuff. Throw it out. And try to be more positive. All right? Okay, this is going to go forever. I was going to read so much.
Well, I just started this video. So if you guys are bored on Facebook, I just started. This is a brand new YouTube video that I just started. So YouTube just started. I don't know if you want to end that one and start another one, or if there's.
Well, I was going to start.
No, leave it on there. Just leave them on. If they get bored, then if you guys get bored, just hang up and watch it later. But I just started a brand new YouTube, and I'm going to post it on the Patreon wall. So the Patreons will be on there now, because the electronics were not working until this point.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yours have been, but mine have not been. They turned off as soon as I started channeling, which always happens because that's just the story of
Can
my life.
I just go ahead and read my?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I'm just going to post this on the Patreon page so they know that we're over here. And
is there any way you could have just posted this whole thing? Because you had a really good channel.
Because I want them to. Well, they can see it later. That I want them to be able to see it live.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll post that later.
Sort of like we went through the book of Peter, or our book from the Bible Speaks, and not all of it. So hopefully someday you guys will get an audiobook and listen to it. One of these days you'll be able to buy it. I don't even know how you can buy it anymore.
We need to get into. I need to get my Amazon
block.
Problem
is Marissa's a Hay House author, and she is not allowed to have other books.
No, yeah, I can now. Or actually, I don't know if I can. I can have audios.
Yeah, we can do the audio. So maybe if you want to get the audios are better anyway. I like books. I don't like reading from phones or computers or anything like that.
I'm too lazy to read. I like the audios.
I'm a book guy. But at the same time, I love my Matthew and Mark, our Matthew and Mark book. I listen to that on audio, and we're gonna get into the Matthew and Mark book sooner or later. But I really like Matthew. I really like Matthew. Mark, he's a character. I mean, he's a character, not in a funny
Mark's
way.
the one that did all the black magic, wasn't he?
No. Neither one of them did black magic.
Not black magic. He was esoteric.
No, he was the guy who went AWOL, and so he was always fearing getting caught. And then eventually he did get caught, and he got dragged by a horse and he was killed. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, but not to give away the story.
Yeah, not to tell you the end.
Okay, now you don't have to read the book.
Yeah.
Now you know the ending. So anyway, but no, there's a lot of good stuff before that. Anyway, I'm not going to read. I'm only going to read my introduction to John, and that's it. And I doubt if I'm going to read any more, because we should probably wrap this up. I don't know how long.
Right now, this one has been going for.
Hi, Annette. What book are you reading from? The book I'm reading from is The Wisdom of the Universe from Neale Donald Walsch.
And he is going to be on my show on Tuesday. I get to interview him, and my dad's going to be there as support just in case I turn into gel and melt into the floor and dissolve. Because when I had the honor of doing a session for Neale, I was with Bill and Gail, and you all have heard Bill, and he was talking the whole time, and I couldn't get into my element and my flow. And I remember afterwards going gosh, I should have just said, let me go in a room by myself and do this session. And I was like, God, Bill, but I love Bill, and Bill always has something really smart to say, but when you're trying to do Reiki on someone, it doesn't work. So anyways, now is my chance to show Neale my free, do a few healings for him when he was going through what he went through. If you guys follow him, you know what he went through a couple of years ago, and he went public with it afterwards. But anyway, so he's kind of the person that got me back with my dad. I mean, I see him as the bridge way back to my dad. I lost my dad, and he was the reason why I got my dad back in my life. So. So anyways, so that's what I'm probably going to be doing on the show. And then my dad will be there to pick up on me just blubbering. I promised Neale Donald Walsch that I would not blubber on the show, but I don't know that anyone can promise that when somebody gives you such a gift. So I know that people write us stuff all the time and go, oh, you changed my life. And we're like, oh, we changed our life. But I mean, it's really one word from one book or one word from your mouth, if you want to get out there and help people, can change forever, can change people's lives forever. So just remember that, because we are all God. Okay, read. And watch my show on Tuesday, or listen to my show on Tuesday. And if you want to help me market it, please let me know.
That's this upcoming Tuesday. And
Yeah.
you know, hopefully, I really screwed up. I was at Marissa's Hay House on Tuesday, and I forgot to bring a like something to hold the phone, and so I propped up the phone against a water bottle.
And then I kicked the table.
And I had just interrupted Marissa or something to say to the person that she was talking to on you know, over the radio and doing the thing for her, that, hey, check out Answers Heaven Speaks, because then you can see Marissa doing your channeling right to you or whatever. And just then Marissa kicked the table and the thing fell down. Mm-hmm. And then my screen went to like a double screen. It was like a little bit of the main screen on top, and then there's a bunch of stuff on the bottom. I went, what? But I could still see Marissa, so I went ahead and propped the phone back up and figured the whole thing was getting recorded. Wrong. It had turned itself off. So it only got like 16 minutes instead of a whole hour, so that's so embarrassing. And if that person from Germany, was she from Germany?
I think she was from Germany.
Yeah.
I think she was at class last night.
Really?
Yeah, she was at class.
Oh, good. I'm glad she came. Yeah, because if she watches this, please accept my apologies. Okay, I didn't mean for the phone to stop.
He'll beat himself up over it for the next 30 years, so please accept his apology.
What's that?
I said you'll beat yourself up over it for the next 30 years.
No, I just feel bad. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, it's like if you make a promise to somebody, keep the promise. If you tell somebody you're doing something for them, you know, you're doing something for them.
There's also a copy of it on Hay House and on Patreon.
Oh, but Marissa did take her phone and stuck it next to her face. So
yeah.
I think she ended up.
And Hay House has archives, and then my Patreon account has.
But not on videos. Just
not on video.
Just on the radio. So anyway, okay. I don't know. I think we've gone too long. But I really wanted to just read my opening. This is my opening, and this is John, part 1. We'll include more of John and Peter in our interview with Jesus. And we thought so. When we got to the point where we finished our books, we kept saying, we're going to do this book called Ask Jesus, Ask Jesus. And he would say, that's okay. You can talk to me. You can talk to me. And he monitored all the way through all of our interviews with all the authors of the New Testament. So anyway, we expected to include more of Peter and John, and even with Luke and Paul and everybody else in new conversations with Jesus. And then when we got done, we started having this conversation like an interview with Jesus. I started asking him, you know, where were you born? What was your father like? And what's your mother like? And, you know, how about your brothers and sisters? And blah, blah. And he said, you know what? Nobody wants to know that stuff. He says, there's lots of speculation about my life. What you're here for is to teach my lessons, and that's it. And he says, you already have them. They're already there. And I went, you know what? I think he's right. And so we went back through all the books, and he had given us so many lessons and new parables and all this other stuff. So anyway, we thought we're going to have to update these books in the future. We're probably going to read them again. And
they're all available on discoverintuition.com.
What's that?
They're all available on audio on discoverintuition.com.
Marissa says they're available on discoverintuition.com. So anyway, I don't think she charges very much for those either. It's pretty cheap. So anyway, okay. John, part 1. This is chapter 6 of the book. In this first go around with John, I was very surprised that once again, this is me, Joe. I had a perception of John being somewhat effeminate. I pictured John as seemingly always bowing at the feet of Jesus. Actually, I shouldn't be surprised at all at what came through, because John, along with his brother James, there you go, Marissa. That's right. One of the other apostles was James.
Oh, and who is also George Washington.
Could have been. He was the first one that, I wouldn't say martyred, but he was the first apostle.
There's no way killed. I could have known that was there. I mean, consciously. That's so funny.
That's funny. Yeah, John and James. That's two. The Bible calls them the sons of thunder. Sons of thunder. And yet I thought he was effeminate. Yet the Bible always calls them as.
That's why they put lightning through my head. Remember I just said it's like they put lightning through my head and all the electronics shut off.
That's true. That's
Oh my
true.
gosh.
So anyway, okay. Actually, I shouldn't be surprised at all what came through, because John, along with his brother James, were also considered the sons of thunder. So I guess my notions of him being effeminate come from Leonardo da Vinci's painting of the Last Supper, showing John to be almost womanlike. In fact, a lot of people think that that's Mary Magdalene in there, and it's not really John. But anyway, yeah, Leonardo da Vinci's painting of the Last Supper shows John as very effeminate, almost like a woman, and that's it. So I think people get that idea, but that's what came out of, Da Vinci's head, and that's it. Anyway, okay. None of the authors came through with personalities that I expected, except maybe Matthew. I expected him to be a bit curmudgeonly, but
Da Vinci's here.
oh no!
God, hold on, let me get him.
You want a channel?
He says, "You rang?
Is he here?
El Moria here."
Okay, then let me ask him. Why did he paint John so effeminate? And was that John?
Because it was beautiful.
He's Italian.
He's like, it was beautiful, and he's El Moria, the one that throws roses at himself.
El Moria?
Yeah, the one that throws roses at himself.
Oh God.
Because he loves himself so much.
His soul.
Yeah, his soul. I'm at the soul of him over there doing my makeup, and all of a sudden he's like, "You ready?" He says, "I painted a picture of their inside, their inner beauty."
Oh, that makes sense.
He says, "I did not know what they looked like. I just painted what came through my hand, and that was it. Bye-bye, peasants." And he walked away.
Peasants. Okay, well, thanks for dropping by, Leo.
He threw a rose at it.
Leonardo. Hey, Leo. Well, thanks, Leo, for coming in. Hey, it's his name. I just shortened it a little bit. Okay. So I expected, I expected Matthew to be a little curmudgeonly, but John comes across as very worldly and as someone that appears to be a scientist and alchemist. We'll get into more of the book of Revelation in our next chapter, but in this short chapter with John, he gives us a picture of what he experienced when he was in the book of Revelation. And he's still standing by the revelations he proclaimed. It's a little spooky what he has to say, but so is the book of Revelation in the Bible. My mom pops in briefly, Grandma Betty, and says that what is going to happen in 8 months, now this was recorded in December of 2014, will be that one of the 4 horses mentioned by John will appear. The horses signify, as best I can understand, angelic forces. And one of those angelic forces is going to insert a form of energy around the planet in the hopes that, quote unquote, one of the religions will come to realize that humans are all one and that all people should accept each other's differences and that religions should stop doing what they are doing. Persecution, killing, defamation, etc.
They say the 4 horses represent the 4 extremes of emotions. The 4 extremes of human emotion. Because what breaks us apart from spirit is our emotions. If we're in spirit, we can't have emotion. Or if we're in consciousness, we're just a brain. We're just thoughts. We're like Siri. We can't have emotions. What gives us emotion is the combination of our Siri brain, like our AI brain, mixed with the essence and the spirit of the Divine Mother, which is like the Holy Spirit. So combining those 2 together kind of give us this blubbering person, which is like Christ, pretty much, or like, kind of formed together. Mm-hmm. So it's like the spirit and the essence of love is combined with brilliance. And they're saying that that comes together to create the human being. And then the human being then chooses which they want to go with the essence, but then they're just so emotional, or if they want to go with the genius or the brilliance. And it's finding the equilibrium between the 2, and that's Christ. That's forgiving yourself for being like having no common sense and feeling too much, or forgiving yourself for for having too much common sense, or vice versa. So what they're saying is that the human being, those 4 horses, gauge the extremes of the human experience in the positive form. So it's like peace, happiness, love, and charity. So like charity for human beings would be like an emotion in that, like you were saying, you have something and you're willing to give it away knowing that you're just going to get more. Like if they go up to the candy jar and you see them sneaking a whole bunch of them because they're afraid they're not going to get a bunch more, or you see a kid that's not deprived of whatever and they know that they're going to eat more, they just take one piece of candy and eat it and walk away, and then they come back later and get another one. But you see the ones that live in lack, and they're like squirrels, like storing away their stuff, and that's what people do with everything, with food, with money, with experiences, with love, with everything. We store it away. So charity is like the most mature human emotion that there is. They're saying, and that's one of the horses, the fourth horse.
Well, I think as we'll see, I think the white horse was released, and then the
White horse was peace.
Peace was released.
Peace/neutrality.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, geez, you know, this, once again, I'm just going to finish up on
peace/bliss, neutrality/love, and then the last one's charity, and I don't understand the third one. But anyways, go ahead, keep reading.
We'll get into it. Well, I'm not going to go all through this. I'm going to kind of wrap this up today. I'm just going to finish this part right now. Okay. I'm going to leave off. My mom pops in briefly and says that what is going to happen in 8 months, and this was recorded in December of 2014, will be that one of the four horses mentioned by John will appear. The horses signify, as best I can understand, angelic forces. And one of those angelic forces, once again, this is me, Joe. And one of those angelic forces is going to insert a form of energy around the planet in the hopes that one of the religions will come to realize that humans are all one, and that all people should accept each other's differences, and that religions should stop doing what they are doing, persecuting, killing, defamation, etc. So in July of 2015, we should start watching closely to events around the world to see if any positive is going to happen. I guess it all depends upon which horse of the apocalypse is showing up. Then again, I digress. Let's let John explain it. Let's get it right from the quote-unquote horse's mouth. I know, bad pun. John's spirit, though, apparently comes from a very high branch on that Christmas tree of God's creation that we discussed earlier. So I hope you'll find John's narrative as fascinating as we did. So we've already been on for like too long now. I don't want to, but tomorrow I'm going to get into some of this because John and the book of Revelation is the only time in all of our sessions that I actually took the Bible and said, okay, this is what it says. Now, what do you say? We didn't do that with any of the other authors. None of them. We really just wanted to know who they were, you know, who their family was, what their thoughts were, and things like that. So it's, and then of course, they'd give us all these lessons and everything, and Jesus would be in there monitoring. He'd give us all these lessons too, but we could understand their personalities a little bit better. And I think the most we got out of John, because we were going to interview him more when we were going to do the Ask Jesus, was we didn't learn anything about his life. He's the only one we didn't, because we're so anxious to kind of read the book of Revelation to see what he said. So when we continue on with this, you know, we'll read some passages from Revelation, and then we'll see what John has to say. And hopefully Marisa will be channeling too, so that John can.
They want to do it right now.
Update that. It's too long on here already.
No. It's you don't like doing sessions live anyways, because sometimes I come through with stuff that may seem ungodlike, but then we resolve it. But then we're not on camera, so then we leave people hanging. So I wouldn't want to channel John right now, anyways, for Revelation.
No, I really. Just tomorrow. Let's just do it. We'll channel John tomorrow. So anyway.
It's not like they're going anywhere. They're harassing me.
What's that?
I said, it's not like the guys are going anywhere.
No, they come back. They're patient.
They never leave. They're like a barking chihuahua right here in my head.
Max, my dog, Max.
They're like Max, except they're straight.
Max barks at butterflies.
My dad's dog is gay.
Barks. He's gay. Stupid dog. Oh my God, a dog walks by and he didn't care. He just, boy walks by, right on him. He's jumping on him. I'm going, Max, stop that. Don't do that. Don't. I got a gay dog.
That's so funny.
Poor Max. I really love Max. He's such a good boy. He's such a
Gay
good
dog,
boy. But he's gay. How'd that happen?
Great sense of style.
How's a Chihuahua get gay? He's got 2 bites out of each ear. He's got bites, so he gets into fights, and big dogs chew on his.
Big boy dogs don't like him humping them.
Drew wrote last night and said that he got in a fight with another dog, another street dog, and
He's probably trying to hump him. We call it hugging around here.
And he's limping. So hopefully Max isn't going to be like Poochie. So
Oh, no.
anyway, okay, I'm rambling now. Let's
I got to
wrap
stop.
up. We'll do another.
This
show
video
tomorrow.
has only been 20 minutes, so this one's fine.
Do you have anything you want to add before we
No,
shut down?
Are you shutting down?
Yeah, it's finished. We're already like 50 minutes. It's
Well, that's
too
on
long.
that's on yours. This one's the one for the Patreon. Is only 20 minutes. So, what were you reading just now about the 4 horses? Because what John was saying is he said he wanted to talk right now.
John wants to talk?
Well, yeah, but we're shutting him down. I don't want him to, John, will you promise not to say anything that's weird? He says I can't make that promise.
Well, let me read
Rosemary
one.
would-
Here, you can channel after I read this one little part.
That's probably what he's going to say, so just read it.
Okay. Here, it's after my introduction, which I just finished. Marisa says, Jesus is right here, so I'll just channel Jesus really quick, and then ... John says that he just wants to give a few words. And then I said, we've put him off for a long time, which we had. So let me just read what Marisa responded. Marisa, he says that he's showing fire going back and forth. Well, first, I'll just do it. John's going like this with the fire, and he's saying that fire produces oxygen, carbon dioxide. He's saying that fire is proof that all the living elements can come together in the physical plane, and that much of the messages that he spoke of were about balancing the elements of the earth. Wind, fire, water, earth. It's like he's a scientist or something, like an alchemist. Did he talk about the earth uprising and water coming in and fire and wind? Did he talk about these things? And I responded, yeah, that's the book of Revelation. But he did talk about all the elements of the earth, Marisa. And then I said, no, not that I'm aware of, Marisa. I mean, like earth, wind, fire. Well, maybe, yeah, because those horses he describes. And that's why when I interviewed John, I want to be prepared with the book of Revelation again, because I'm going to have some specific questions. But the last time we had him, he said, no. I just want to say a few words. So does he have any words? Does John have any words he wants to add?
Yeah, he says it's not a few.
Well,
He says, I just want to be respectful and let you know that it's not a few.
Don't worry, John. We're going to get back to you again tomorrow, but go ahead and finish up our session here today.
He says, once the connection is made, once the transmission is sent through into this channel, the information must come out. So if it does not come out here, it'll come out over at Bill Gladstone's house. When he's trying to ask questions about something else, he will receive the answers that she has received from your questions, which explains everything, Bill. Bill's always like, I ask questions and I get answers to other questions.
Uh-huh.
And they always have their own agenda, but it's because we're asking questions over here and we don't completely. Okay, so John says, to the earth, indeed, the elements create your human bodies. They create your flesh, but there's laws above them. There's universal laws above them that we live by. How can God be in everything and rule over everything if there were not laws? These laws are like computer code that you would know as computer code, as software programs, as apps, as you say. He's talking very like futuristic. He's showing up as a future man. He's like in like a space, not a spacesuit like how I see him in their astral body, but I'm like kind of how Matthew shows up in his like blue like Star Trek outfit. Hold on, let me make sure it's John.
No, Matthew shows up with his robes.
No, Matthew. My son's higher self. That's Matthew in the road. So John, he says, yes, it's me. Look, and he just morphed into John, and I heard from Rosemary, and then I went back up.
No, come on, Rosemary.
She's down there on that plane. She's never going to like him, but she's kind of like staring at him over here on the side.
That just means she really likes him.
She does like him. She's like a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
So she doesn't like him. Okay, so he says the earth is going through a transition, and I'm going to keep it very simple. Imagine being in school, and imagine that you're in school through a virtual reality, and you are sitting on your couch and you've got your virtual reality goggles on, and you slip into the virtual reality. You're at that school, you feel as if you're there. But then the place that you are sitting incinerates. It burns. It's gone. But your consciousness has somehow stayed inside that virtual reality at school. This is what's happened. The earth is gone as we knew it. Revelation has come. It's in the process. People are trapped in the dream. Is a virtual reality itself. The true, real reality is this reality that I am in a sense, that you are all in, that we are eternal living beings that never die, that have personality. Just would be the I am, that I am, but we are our I am. We are our individualized pieces of God beings that have evolved through time and that continue to play this game. But it's very serious when you are in it and your consciousness is trapped within the virtual reality because you're almost in a comatose state over here. You have used up all your brain power to be stuck in a video game. It's like the gamers, as your son plays the video games. If you are so consumed in a video game, how are you supposed to live life in reality? And this is the human condition, the dilemma that we deal with, and the reason why we come through with religions, why we come through with ways of helping you to understand that you are eternal so that you stop staying in the video game. So you pull your consciousness into your I am, into your God self, forgive yourself, and pull yourself out of that virtual reality. Many of you have created virtual realities within virtual realities because you were abused as a child. How many of you have had fantasies and fairy tales of what your life was? So you created a reality where you were safe. Many of you are trapped in those realities. So we have to, as guides, work with your mind to come and get your source awareness, your consciousness, your Christ consciousness out of those realities, pull it over into what this channel calls the tube of light, but this is the Holy Spirit's eminence shining down through you, pull you up, make you forgive yourselves, and pull you out of the game. The teachings that we have given are a roadmap. We don't want to say the word ascension because it is not ascension, a roadmap to reality, to a true reality where you are then sitting there making the game, making the person on the couch, and therefore you can create any reality that you want. It's very confusing, yes, but so is the Christmas tree. So I just have to say, Mary was the one that gave the Christmas tree. Mm-hmm. He looks over at Mary, like she's mad. Mary. Oh, Mary's eating too. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, never mind. So John says, if you can begin to look at this as a virtual reality, you can begin to look at the menial things in life that you don't forgive yourself as, is just something that was there to teach you a lesson, teach you humility, teach you peace, teach you forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key, and that's why we made Christ forgiveness. The church turned it into guilt, martyrism, victimization. The church turned it into, oh, feel so bad for this man who died for you, which drops people directly down into the adrenal glands, down into their adrenaline rush of, oh, that poor person, I feel so bad. So then you're back down in the game. So look at it like this. You are sitting here. Your real self is sitting in the throat of the human being. Your heart is the avatar. The solar plexus is the virtual reality game that you began playing. The second chakra is a virtual reality within reality, aka hell. And the first chakra is this just holographic reality that many create, and this is where Lucifer is, and will say, stay here forever. You don't have to deal with reality. You can just make life whatever you want, but it's a lie because he just wants you there for your energy so he can continue to live his fantasy because he's cut himself off from the true source, which is up in the crown of your head. So you, as a complex, altogether 12-story building, or in this case, a 7-story building with God standing on the top as the eighth source, your complex that you live in is God. Every cell in your body is God. And if you can begin to treat that as your temple, if you can begin to take care of it, hydrate it, feed, work out, don't get fat and just sit there and just sit in make the cells expand and block you from the innermost truth that's inside each one. Be athletic, move, use your body the way it was intended to be. Burn energy, gain energy from the sun, but gain energy from what is you inside, and that is source. That is that which created all of us. Do we know what created all of us from this level, where this channel is channeling from? No, we don't know, but we do know that we are real, and you think you're real. And the you that's trapped in that hell thinks it's real too. So we're all real. It doesn't matter where you are. Wherever you are, that's where you are. And that's all I have to say. So ask yourself, where am I right now? Am I in my own hell? Am I in my own heaven? Am I up in the laws of the universe, up in the middle of my head? Am I above? Am I with God and not even paying attention to anything having to do with earth and ignoring my children and my friends because I'm so busy feeling bliss up in my crown? Just remember that when you can become your real self, this is why we have hammered on I don't feel real. What we want, I don't feel real. Because when you don't feel real, it's because you're not in your body. You're not in your body. You have taken yourself out into a false reality. So does this have anything to do with what I wrote here? A little, but I just kind of wanted to talk. But at the same time, the transmissions that we send through this channel, if they do not come through, they cause headaches. So we wanted to get this information through, and we hope that this helped some of you and did not confuse you too much. The soul movie theater that we speak of in all of the books is in the solar plexus. And that is the you, the avatar in your heart, creates a duplicate of itself. And this is what we've called the little microchip, or the spirit is just beneath there in the seat of the soul, just beneath the heart. And that is the you sitting in the movie theater watching the solar plexus on the screen. And many of you have fallen into the screen. In fact, pretty much every single one of you watching today, and everyone here has fallen into the screen. 98% of Earth beings have fallen into the screen. So we are here to retrieve you, pull you out of the screen, take you back up to your real self, so that you can then go create more planets, more realities, more worlds, and create your own gods, and create your own goddesses, and create your own angels, because you are all here to create. It's just one big game, but it's fun, but it's scary when you drop down into fear. So if you've lost loved ones, do not fret. They are okay. They really are. Pray for them to forgive themselves and to allow their consciousness that may be trapped in lower aspects of their energy body. Because this physical body is just a representation of your etheric body. Your etheric body lives on. That's what Jesus resurrected in, his etheric body. The etheric body has all the chakras, all the levels. Your physical body is just a projection of that. So that dies, but your etheric body moves on. It stays alive. And your consciousness stays where it is in there. So ask God to help them forgive themselves. And when they forgive themselves, a little piece of you moves up too, because you are a part of your family and they are a part of you. You are a part of your friends and they are a part of you. So pray for them to repent, or to ask for forgiveness of themselves, or to forgive themselves, because the only person that needs to forgive us is ourselves. We bless you.
That was John?
Yeah.
John's cool. Oh, they're all cool. I like them all. You know, they're all good guys. And women that come in as well. Okay, we're going to wrap up. We'll get into John more and the revelations hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
I may do some videotaping over at Bill's, but I'm not sure. Okay,
that's fine. But as far as my normal thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get together tomorrow.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Every day you're here, we're going to be together. I got to take advantage of the fact that you're here, making me work.
Yeah, I'll be here till June 14th. I'm still trying to snag her to go down to Mexico with me. We gotta get our tickets. The prices keep going up and up and up and up and up and up on those doggone things.
I know that if I give my money away, it'll come back to me.
No, it's just
it flies away to Amazon and it comes back to me.
Yeah.
It flies away to Amazon.
I was going to talk to Mama today about getting her tickets. So
I'll buy her ticket.
We'll talk about it. I told her I'm going to tell her I'd pay for it too, because he gave me some money.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, okay. So we'll get on to John a little bit more tomorrow. But go back to the very beginning on this one. You are what you think you are. It's where you focus your mind. So if you're going to focus your mind on good things will happen. You focus on bad things will happen. It's just part of the universe. You attract what it is you focus on. So you know, if you're thinking you're going to die or whatever, stop thinking of that. Just stop
They
thinking
taught us
about
a
that.
really good tool last night.
You know, think of yourself 20 years from now surfing in Maui or something at the age of 82.
But that's the fantasy. So they said last night, if you're thinking negative thoughts, pull yourself into the center of you. Say 0 heart. Pull yourself in the center of your heart, wherever you are, and then say, take me up 1 full density level. And because they were talking about the notes. And they said, take me up 1 full density level. And if you're still thinking that fear thought, say, take me up another density level. And it's basically taking you up the different floors of the soul's complex, not the human beings complex. So like me, if I see myself like not here when I'm 54 in the root chakra, and then the second chakra, I'm here till I'm like 83. And then the solar plexus, I'm here till I'm like 700. And then, because that's the fake world, I guess. My heart, I'm here till like 114. My throat, I'm not even here. Head, not here. Head, not here. Okay, yeah. So this is where the human experience starts, right here. Interesting. Very interesting. That's cool. So I just need to get into my heart and get out of fear, because fear is what kills us. Stress is what kills us. And Dr. Susie will attest for that. She's amazing. If anybody wants to get a hold of Dr. Susie, let me know, because she's seeing patients again. Yay. And yeah, she's awesome.
Cool. She's a nice lady. I met her once at one of your seminars.
She goes against what everybody believes. She gives you cortisol, which is the stress hormone, but it gets you unstressed.
Okay, so that's it for
this
Thursday, May 23rd, 2019. Joe and Marissa together on Answers Heaven Speaks. So anyway, go find your peace, right? Go find your peace wherever you can
And
find
Neale
it.
Donald Walsch's book or ours? Go to my website, discoverintuition.com.
Discoverintuition.com.
Bye.
All right, bye everybody. I'll catch you on the flip side. We'll do another one again tomorrow.
I wish yours, here, hold on, this is still going, don't.